All right. Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Baba's Automotive. On this show, we like to shine a spotlight on our blue and white collar workers who go out there every day and make life easier for each of us. Today, we have a very special guest with us today who's worked with one of the #1 companies in the world for over 20 years. Today, we have Miss Brittany Flowers. Thank you, Miss Flowers, for having this interview with us.
Thank you for having me. I'm glad to be here.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to get right into it. We're going to start off with how old are you and where are you from?
I am 36 years old and I am from here in Gwinnett County.
You from here in Gwinnett County?
Yeah, born and raised in Lilburn.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Seeing it now compared to when you was growing up.
Gwinnett has grown a lot. Like I said, I was born and raised here. So to see it grow over the years, the expansion from Lilburn all the way over to Lawrenceville. So just seeing the growth, it's amazing. One of the top schools are in Gwinnett County as well. So yeah, I'm proud Gwinnetian.
Okay, cool. So what, if you don't mind me asking, what did your parents do for a living, or what did they do, or what do they do?
So my dad was actually a professional athlete. He played for the Atlanta Falcons. That's how we ended up relocating here, what mom and my dad did. And then my mother worked in the hospitality industry. So she was hotels, concierge, front desk. So my customer service, hospitality, I get it a lot from her.
Wow. Okay. Let me ask you, do you remember the first time you ever made money for your service?
Yes. So I work for Publix supermarkets and I got hired when I was 16 years old. So now I'm 36 and I do remember my first paycheck because I remember getting the job. I was like, I want my own money. I was blessed enough to get my own car in high school, but I had to do the upkeep. So getting my first check, it definitely went to gas because we had to pay for gas. And then like I had to get my tires rotated. Anything that went wrong with that car, I had the responsibility of taking care of that. So Publix afforded me that when I was in high school. So I get that weekly paycheck and it went to my car. I am a nail and hair girly, so I was getting my hair and my nails done. So it helped me afford my lifestyle when I was in high school.
So from 16, you worked at Publix. Okay, that's cool, man. So we got a lot of stories on here where somebody said, I sold a bag of chips. That was the first time I got money. I raked yards. That's the first time I got money. And yours was actually at the company that you still with.
Yes.
That's cool. That speaks of longevity right there. Let me ask you though, what did you want to be growing up?
I actually wanted to do radio broadcasting. So when I was young, I used to mimic the ladies on the radio. Fox 5, what's her name? Amanda Davis. To this day, she was like my idol. I wanted to be in front of a camera or say the news or anything like that, but particularly radio also because I love music. And I just thought that job would be so much fun to be up at the radio station. At the time, it was like 97.5, 107.9, all those radio stations. I wanted to be a part of that and be in the mix. So that was like my dream goal to do.
Have you ever pursued it?
I did. I have a funny story. So when I went to college, I went to University of West Georgia. I wanted to be an intern at 107.9. So I actually got called in for an interview and I actually got to the second interview. So the second interview, I was in front of probably like 4 or 5 people for 107.9 and I had to like say a pitch. I had to pitch something or sell a pen or something like that. And I froze. When I tell you, I was like deer in headlights. I was like, and I can talk, but that moment I just lost it. So like ever since then, I tell that story to people, but like, y'all don't give up on your dreams. Cause after that I got shell shocked and I was just like, maybe it's not for me. But that's my little story of how I did try to break into the radio industry once upon a time.
Okay, we'll get into that a little bit later. Cause I want to ask you, would you ever consider that in the future? Cause you're pretty young. And like I said in the beginning, you're still young and you worked at Publix for 20 years. So you still have that like, you know, a life full ahead of you to do whatever you please, and we'll get in that in a little bit. But you said you went to University of
West Georgia.
University of West Georgia, and what did you do there? What did you major?
I majored in mass communications and I minored in marketing.
Okay, and do you recommend college for the younger generation coming up? What is your take on the college
I'm on both sides with that. So if you know you're like dead on, you know this field you want to go into, I highly pursue it. But some people, school is not for everybody. So hey, don't rack up the debt trying to please people. You know what I'm saying? So if it's not for you, it's not for you. Go to trade school. Whatever trade or something you're into, I just highly suggest you go into that. But school is necessarily not the end all be all for everybody.
I agree.
So I'm on both sides of that.
Okay, cool. So what are some of the best things about your life in college? What are some of your best experiences?
Ooh, well, college was a time for me, I would say. We had a good time. I did go to class. I did graduate on time, so it was balanced.
Good.
But I definitely partied a lot. I am a part of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. So I did pledge the best sorority that is out there. And I just gained genuine bonds there, provided community service. We did all of that. So that was probably like the highlight of my college career was pledging my sorority.
So college, and you still stayed with Publix throughout.
Yes.
You never, after you graduating, going somewhere else, maybe another intern, trying something else out, another job? Question.
Yeah, it was Publix. Publix is consistency for me. I will say the little cherry on top, I got paid every single week while I worked at Publix. So the financial stability was there also. And then it allowed me the luxury of transferring from Lilburn to Carrollton. And I was allowed to work. I worked at least 20 something hours a week. I still maintained my studies. Publix is a constant in my life because I know the stability that company does provide. And it's been very impactful ever since.
Okay, and what is your job title?
I am a customer service manager.
Okay, and what does that consist of?
That's making sure that we provide service. Customer service is the last part of a shopping trip. It's that icing on the cake. So when you come through our registers, my cashiers are providing premier service. My bagger is bagging your groceries, taking it outside to your car. It's all about premier service. There's plenty of other places for people to shop, but Publix, we stand out in service. And that's what I make sure, and I ensure that the people that I hire and my associates that I work with or work alongside with, they provide that service to keep our customers coming back.
And we love Publix, by the way.
Yes.
And for those that don't know, we're going to put a little bit of respect on Publix name. I wrote a little bit of facts. Let me get to a couple of Google facts about Publix.
Okay.
Now, she didn't tell me her salary or what she made. I didn't want to get too personal with that. But they did say on Google that customer service managers, depending on experience, 10 to 15 years experience, can earn a little higher, can get up to $89,000 a year. And also, they say that is the #1 employee-owned business in the United States, which means it shares its net profits with its employees. So employees get a lot of bonuses, and from what I hear about you, you're on a lot of trips. You take a lot of trips.
Yes, I travel, but I understand why I am able to travel because I have a secure job and career with Publix. And I'm glad, shout out to you for doing your research. We are that. Everything he said is absolutely true. Actually, on this Friday, I am getting a dividend check because it's that time of the year. So the incentives for working for Publix takes care of their associates. In turn, we take care of Publix. So with me being promoted to a customer service manager, I'm entrusted to perpetuate that Publix culture, and Publix takes care of me very well.
And I want the younger generation to take note of that. This is for the younger generation and the older generation. If you want to, you can get back on that horse if you want to, and just see that, stable job. Okay, a lot of time on this channel, we interview entrepreneurs and people who just out there hustling and bustling. But this interview right here, I want you to focus on the stability of being with the job for a long time. Being with a good company for a long time that offer you all these benefits and deals like that. I am not playing. When I looked up, another fact, I looked up, it said about after 20 years, depending, it's a lot of flexibility in that, depending on what you invested in and deals like that. After 20 years, someone can retire with $200,000 to $400,000 in 401k. Come on, man. That's after 20 years. Yes. And not saying this is what she makes, but she's been in the game for about 20 years. You know what I'm saying? So, and she's 36 years old. 36 years young. She's still young. I mean, she still got like 60 plus more years out there ahead of us where she can go back into the radio broadcasting and do whatever she wants because she retired now. Can still, But anyway, we're going to get back to it. I just wanted to drop those few gems for the younger generations that's going to see this, and they're always thinking about, oh, Publix, I'm not working for Publix. I'm not finna bag. I'm not finna bag at Walmart. I'm not finna do that. Not knowing that if you take advantage of these health benefits, this 401k and these things that these people got, then, in the long run, it will benefit you.
Definitely.
Okay, what is the best thing about your job?
We just talked about the younger generation. I love working with the minors. So minors in the state of Georgia, that's considered your 16 and 17-year-olds. And actually at Publix, we hire starting at the age of 14. So usually this is like, 14-year-olds, if you want your kid to get a job.
He coming. My son coming.
Yeah, please,
okay.
Send him up there. You learn so much at that age, and to be an adult to influence them and kind of, you get in touch with the youth and kind of see where their mindset is, but kind of let them know like, hey, you're going to mature eventually and you're going to learn some life skills here. You're going to learn how to talk to people. You're going to learn about conflict resolution. You're going to learn about so much that is going to apply to whatever job you have. You don't have to be with Publix forever, but take what you can learn from Publix and those around you, because we do embrace the younger generation. We know some district managers, some regional directors, they started when they were 16, 14 years old. So to see them move up the ranks like that, they never thought they were going to be a regional director for Publix, but they started at Publix. They started at the foundation of a bagger or a cashier. So I tell that story to a lot of my minors. You never know where life will lead you, but you can learn a lot and gain a lot from working for Publix at a young age. So minors, I would say, is like my favorites to work with. They keep me young, I would say. All the lingo and stuff like that, I learned so much from them, and I try to pour into them as much as I can as well. So they are my favorite part of my.
That's
my
cool.
job.
That's cool. I learned something new. My son, he's 14. He might have to go get that job,
So
man.
come on down.
For real. So I don't want to, not to bash Publix, because we're not bashing companies in any type of way.
Of course.
But what are some of the difficulties or challenges about your job, if I can dress it right?
That is a good one. Challenges for,
and be careful. I mean,
yeah,
a young person may have to go through, but they can get through it because you went through it and got through it, possibly.
I would say, for me, some challenges that I had to work through for Publix. I could get personal. My management journey, and when I was trying to move up, I literally had to fight to get where I am today. But it took a village of people. There's people in Publix that will pour into you, and staying encouraged and trying to move up the ladder. Some politic can be in there sometimes too. So, you got to navigate that, but just staying encouraged during things like that, when you don't necessarily get what you want out of the company that you work for. I think that was probably the biggest challenge that I have overcome. And here I am today to say that I made it to the position that I wanted to be. So.
Wow. Good lesson. Wow. Not getting the things you want from that company, but still staying and being motivated and overcoming that,
yes,
and getting what you want at the end. I think that's even a lesson for me that I could have learned earlier when I was getting these benefits from National Tire and Battery, and I worked there, and I got that check. When they sent me that check, and after I quit, they sent me that check. I was like, man, if I stayed for another couple of years, but that's a gem right there.
Yeah.
Not getting the things you want, but still having that mind frame to stay steady and stay on that course.
Yeah.
And eventually,
stay the course.
Look at you right now.
That's a big thing. Stay the course.
Okay. Do you see technology taking over more positions, or do you see a need or increase for more employees in the future? And I asked that because the Publix beside me, now we have those deals where self-checkout.
Yes.
And I don't like it.
You took the words out of my mouth. So this is now Brittany speaking for Brittany. So yeah, that's unfortunate. Like, technology is progressing in a way, but we do take away the service aspect of that front face-to-face interaction with the customer. And it's unfortunate, but that's something with the times. But I know with Publix, we still pride ourselves on providing premier service. So we do have those self-checkout agents that are there to still engage with you, you know what I'm saying? But also thinking about the customer. Nowadays, a lot of customers don't want that interaction either. So some people don't want to be bothered. They don't want to ask. They want to shop, get their stuff, and leave. They don't want that interaction. So back in the day, yeah, you wanted to talk to Miss Mary at the register for about 5 minutes about your day. Some people nowadays, they don't. So Publix is just tracking trends, and that's a trend now where, hey, we're going to acknowledge that customers want service that way.
Wow.
So.
Wow. Yeah, man, because, you know, I work late sometimes, and I went and scroll in there, and I seen them changing around everything, and I'm tired when I get off. I don't want to bag my own stuff. I'm like, hey, yeah, do not do that, because I like Chick-fil-A because it's a my pleasure thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they like Starbucks because they always nice, and Publix is on that standard too.
Yeah.
You know, I think so. So that's cool though, man. But I do see the technology kind of
it's progressing, yeah.
Progressing. Okay. So how long would it be for, you know, your retirement for as public goes?
So the way I'm projecting, saving, investing in my 401k, I'm projected to retire. I could at least retire about 55, and I'm 36 right
55,
now.
about
So
36.
that's my ultimate goal. So investing for my future, it's really, really important.
So you're gonna put in another 20?
I'll put in another 20 for sure. I enjoy what I do, so for sure I can do that.
Dope. Okay, dang. So you're gonna have a couple million when you retire anyway. You're probably almost there anyway.
I'm doing well. That's all I say.
So what is your plans for the future though? Like, okay, so is it gonna keep? Okay, so I know you said, you know, another 20 years with Publix. Do you feel like you want to venture outside of that a little bit and, you know, dabble into the radio now? I mean,
actually, I do have a hobby. I do gaming. I do PC gaming. So,
okay.
My goal is to do like streaming through Twitch. I'm actually affiliated on Twitch right now. So affiliation means like I have at least 100 followers. I'm steady in my streaming. So, I'm really into video games, and then one day at least profiting off of it. It's my hobby for right now, but I would love to still stream and make money off of it. And that aspect of still me reaching the people, talking, being myself, that's why I really want to kind of dabble into that. So my hobby right now is that, but I would like to make a future into that.
Okay, cool. Okay, so I think I know your answer to this one now. One of my questions was stable job or entrepreneurship?
Oh, I respect entrepreneurs so much. And let me tell you, and I guess that was like a fear of mine where I just didn't branch out to do my own business or whatever. So shout out to all the entrepreneurs, but I need stability. I need a paycheck every week. I need to know that, you know what I'm saying? But definitely shout out to all the entrepreneurs. You have a type of, you don't have fear in your heart. Like you just know what you want to do and you're set in it. So much respect to the entrepreneurs.
Okay. So, one of the last questions, we're gonna wrap it up. Short and sweet interview. I'm not gonna lie. Pretty cool. If you could rewind time, would you do anything differently?
Would I do anything different?
Just the career-wise. Would you do anything differently?
I would have got off my butt after that failed interview, and I would have went right on back to that radio station. And I would have definitely tried to do it again. That's a great question you asked, but definitely, that's if I could change anything, I would do that because I would love to see where I would have went, and I know I would have did something great with radio and broadcasting.
Wow. Okay, one of the last questions I ask everybody is, what is the hardest profession in the world to you?
The hardest profession is retail. I'm not gonna lie. You know, I work in retail. It's hard working with the public, but you learn so much about yourself working with the public because you have different personalities. You have to please people, even the most not pleasant people, but you learn within yourself that you don't let other people's emotions control you. So when you do deal with the public, you know, somebody could be having a terrible day, and they're taking it out on you. Little old cashier didn't do nothing. But at the end of the day, you can't let that hold you back. You can't let that get you down. You try to empathize with people as much as possible. But retail is tough, from the working with the people part, the hours, because a grocery store, it's a lot to run a grocery store. I could be here all day to tell you. I didn't even talk about grocery, deli department, making sure the shelves are in stock conditions, only working 45 hours a week. You got to get your whole job done within 45 hours. You cannot go over. So, it can get very tough, but at the end of the day, it is rewarding. And that's one thing I wouldn't change about Publix. I'm truly grateful for the job that I hold with that company. Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. And I do think Publix deserve a lot more respect. And you guys got to remember those facts. I said this girl making $90,000 a year,
Oh
man.
my goodness.
I mean, about $400,000 in stock after 20 years. I mean, but on a serious note, thank you, Ms. Flowers, for taking this interview with us.
No, thank you for taking the time to interview me.